as always, I kind of like reading these backwards when they ask what text 2 would say about text 1, so I'm going to read text 2 first. The growing consensus among scholars of Nahuatl script is that many of its symbols could signify either words or syllables, depending on syntax and content at any given site within a text. For example, the symbol signifying the word blouse in some contexts could signify the syllable peel in others, as in the place name whatever. Thus, for the Aztecs, reading required a determination of how such symbols functioned each time they appeared in the text. It's just saying, I guess, it depends. The context matters. How about that? Context matters. Context matters. So what does text 1 say? Because literacy in Nahuatl script, the writing system of the Aztec Empire was lost after Spain invaded central Mexico in the 1500s, it is unclear exactly how meaning was encoded in the script symbols, although many scholars had assumed that the symbols signified entire words. Linguist Alfonso Lacadena theorized in 2008 that they signified units of language smaller than words, individual syllables. Okay, so how would they characterize? Okay, so this is important. I didn't really think about this when I first read the question, but specifically, how would they characterize Lacadena's theory? Text 1 is mentioning two theories. We got to make sure we keep them straight, right? So Lacadena's theory is they're syllables, and text 2 would disagree, right? They might be syllables, but they might be entire words. So, syllables only is kind of what my dumb summary of that part of text 1 would be. So let's just see if they say anything like disagree. It's more complicated than just syllables. A, by praising the theory for recognizing that the script symbols could represent entire words. Nope, because the theory does not say that. The other theory does, not Lacadena's theory. So this is why you got to pay attention when a passage is giving you different perspectives, that you keep them straight. This is just wrong. B, by arguing the theory is overly influenced by the work of earlier scholars. No, because this guy disagrees with earlier scholars, and plus that's just not what text 2 ever talks about. It's like, oh, you're copying other people. It's not about it's not attacking Lacadena himself, or it's just separate from that. So C, by approving of the theory's emphasis on how the script changed over time. This is a common trap. I don't think it did change over time, right? They're just saying, what did it mean? Not what did it mean, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, whatever. I mean, I guess it's several hundred, but yeah. So it's got to be D. By cautioning that the theory overlooks certain important aspects of how the script functioned. I love this choice. So notice that it's very vague, because what I would say, right, if you asked me to kind of come up with an answer choice, I would say something like, the problem with text 1 or Lacadena's theory is that it doesn't include the fact that it could be whole words, right? I would get more specific about the problem. Lacadena says it's syllables only. The text 2 says it could be syllables, but it could also be whole words. It depends on the context. So I would be more specific about that. Choice D is purposely leaving that specificity out so that you are less inclined to pick it. So by cautioning the theory overlooks certain important aspects, whenever they do this, you can turn these vague phrases into a question. What would be the important aspects of how the script functioned? Well, how about the fact that it sometimes is a word? Here, depending on syntax and content, any given within a moment of the text, either words or syllables. So what are the important aspects? That the context matters, that it could be a syllable, it could be an entire word, we just don't know. And so the fact that I can kind of turn this piece of the choice into a question and then point to things in the passage that answer that question is a very, very good sign that that's the right answer. And I was pretty sure, because I'm confident the other ones are wrong, but always, if we can prove the right answer right and prove the wrong answers wrong, that's the best case situation. That's our goal for every reading question in general. We sometimes fall short of that goal, but that's at least what we should be striving for.